After working for the ABC affiliate in Eugene, Oregon for 7.5 years, Holly traded in her rain boots for snow boots and moved to the Beehive State. She brings with her 10 years of experience on the anchor desk and covering major breaking news events. Holly sets her alarm clock early to anchor the KUTV Channel 2 News in the morning. She anchors from the 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. And when she's not on the air anchoring, you can find Holly covering STEM events throughout Utah. She helped launch KUTV's STEM franchise and has been reporting on STEM-related events for more than a year. Has been a key partner with the STEM Action Center. She's featured several different businesses that specialize in STEM fields and various programs that focus on getting students interested in STEM careers. And if there's a STEM event happening in Davis, Salt Lake, or Utah counties, you'll likely see Holly there. So please welcome Holly to moderate our panel, and we'll go on from there.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me this morning. And if you do the math, because we're all about math here at STEM, I've been up since 2:30 a.m. Yeah, it's an early wake-up call, but it's a ton of fun. So I'm awake, I'm alert, had a little bit of coffee. We should be good. We'll be able to manage this thing here, this fun panel today. Is everybody awake? Did you have a good break? Okay, we're ready to go. Sounds good. So this is a big part of STEM and Utah's commitment to STEM, talking about STEM projects when it comes to education and how that translates to business and industry. That's what I hear in the stories I've covered across the state of Utah. A lot of businesses and industry saying we need a STEM educated workforce. That's where education comes in, preparing our students, preparing our young people to provide that STEM educated workforce. So we have a great panel here today. We're going to have a great discussion. I'm really relying on the audience this morning to step up, ask some good questions so we can get a good debate going. We don't need a debate per se, but a good conversation at least. So I'm going to have the panelists introduce themselves. They're going to just talk a little bit about themselves, and then we'll start with question number 1. And you're first.
Great. So Scotty Nolan, the Acting Director of Engineering at Hill Air Force Base. Been there a couple of years. The office I help lead focuses on workforce development for Hill. We've got about 2,000 scientists and engineers and technicians, as well as technology insertion. What technology do we need on the floor to support the mission at Hill, which is primarily doing depot level maintenance on tactical aircraft and intercontinental ballistic missiles for the U.S. Air Force. 20 years in the Air Force, developmental engineering. I've got a little bit of an education flavor, a couple different tours teaching at the Air Force Academy in aeronautical engineering. So thanks for having me here.
My name is Bert Vanderheiden. I'm with Orbital ATK. Legacy goes back to 30 years, Hercules Aerospace. Worked at the Thiokol plant when Orbital ATK and Thiokol merged. Worked out of state for a while and then came back, and now I'm the Vice President of our military segment within our Aerospace Structures Division right across the street over here in Clearfield. And I'm also a board representative for the STEM Action Center. So very much interested in the STEM theme and how we influence the next generations of students and professionals for our. No, that's fine.
Good. I'm Teresa. Is it working? Aha. Okay, I'm Teresa Schlegel, and I'm the Vice President of Human Resources for School Improvement Network. School Improvement Network is an online high-tech company that provides professional development for teachers. I'm also the co-chair of the Utah Tech Council's Talent Shortage Task Force. So I've had a great opportunity to get to know a lot about the state of Utah and the challenges that we face in industry. Part of my background and why I believe I'm here today is I also had a wonderful opportunity for over 8 years to work with ATK Thiokol in human resources as they were going through some growth spurts here in the state of Utah. And I'm really excited. I just moved back 2 years ago from Chicago, and my husband is really thrilled to be here as well. He is a special needs teacher in Davis County.
Good morning. I think we've all taken our time our turn to turn on the switch on the microphone. I'm Rob Brems. I'm the president of the Utah College of Applied Technology, or also known as UCAT. UCAT is a system of 8 awesome technology campuses across the state of Utah. They're known as Applied Technology Colleges, ATCs. I would be amiss if I didn't do a shout out to our partners at the Ogden Weber Tech College sitting at the table here. We sure appreciate them being here. Are there some from our Davis campus here? There you guys are. Hi, Ginger. Our mission is twofold. We have twin customers. First of all, the mission of our college campuses is to serve the needs of the employers in their respective regions. If we're not in touch with what the employers know about and know that needs to be done, then we're not doing our job. And so we strive daily to make sure that through our employer advisors, through our boards of directors, through our contacts with business and industry, through our teachers, knowing the folks who are going to be hiring our students, that we're in touch with the businesses, with the industry, and that we know where the jobs are. And then we want to be in touch with our students to be sure that they get the type of education and training that their employers are wanting. And so it keeps us on our toes. Oftentimes we're finding ourselves revamping and changing programs, curriculum a lot, but that is necessary in the type of role in which we're involved. We're really pleased to have about 35,000 students a year across our great state of Utah enroll in UCAT campuses for some kind of training. It was fun to talk to Colonel Scotty over here just before we came up about his concept and the same concept that we share of students getting in early and earning a credential, in our case a certificate, that demonstrates and shows the types of skills that they have, so that when they come to you, Bert, Scotty, you can tell what it is that they know and you can put them to work and you can get maximum efficiency from our ATC students immediately. So pleased to be with you, and I'm looking forward to participating in the panel.
Well, good morning. My name is Jody Lunt, and I am currently the Executive Director for the Davis Education Foundation. The Davis School District serves we're just edging on to 71,000 students. We're the second largest school district in the state, and I have the incredible privilege every single day to work with community partners such as many of you. So for those of you who are with our children, I can't individually pull out, thank you, who invest in the future. It is the best return on investment, I tell, as I work with people, that they can ever do. Invest in tomorrow, because it will just reap great rewards. So I have the chance of doing that, but my background and the reason I was here is I was not here to solicit great funds for Davis School District, but I am not opposed to checks, Davis Education Foundation, any point in time. But I'm here because I am a 27-year, very proud year educator in the state of Utah. I began my career in Ogden School District, and I would say to you I taught science, but really what I'll tell you is I taught children. And I believe in children, and I believe they can and they will learn with the great partnerships and collaboration that we do. So from Ogden High School, I also had the chance to work alongside Mr. Brems at the State Office of Education as I worked with federal grant and state grant writing and different initiatives. Found a great home in Davis School District, where I've been for the last 14 years. I was the science supervisor for Davis School District prior to taking this job. So I'm a science geek at heart, an algae major. I like to scum with the rest of the best of them. So I'm here because I think science, technology, engineering, and math is where it's at. I, as a female in the field, tried to be an incredible advocate to young women as I taught them to show them that you can be and do anything you want to be, regardless of the field. So I believe that's why Tammy asked for me to sit here today, is I represent the incredible teachers and educators in the state of Utah.
Good morning. My name is Chuck White. It's my pleasure to serve as president of Weber State University. We are proud to host this event for the past 2 days and welcome all of you. If there's anything that we can do to make your stay more enjoyable, please let me or one of my team know. I'm a chemist by profession, physical chemist, and I took my first permanent job at the University of Utah in 1984. So I've been kicking around Utah for a little more than 30 years, and I had a chance to move up to Weber State just a little bit more than 2 years ago. My passion has been high explosives and have fun occasionally going out and blowing stuff up officially. But I'm pleased to be part of this panel today. Thanks.
All right, high explosives. This is going to be fun. So we've got industry here, and we have education here. So let's begin. All right, this is a pretty basic question, but it's just a way for us to start the conversation. What is the goal of school? And let's talk first from an educator's perspective. Whoever wants to answer, go ahead. I'm not going to call on you. I'll just let you speak up when you're ready.
Well, I read that question earlier, and I thought about that a lot. I thought about myself, I thought about my children, and I thought about my grandchildren. And you know, the goal of school, I believe, is overarching. It's going to provide an experience, it's going to provide education that help us to be successful in life. Now, that being said, I have to then think about what I do as my profession, and that is that we are all about helping students to learn the career segment of their education, to learn something that's going to help them to earn a living, to have a living wage, to support themselves and their family. And so that's what I think education is about, is to provide that experience that makes us all citizens. And then as we get more specific and attending a school like a UCAT campus, it's going to help us to get career skills that give us a way to support ourselves through life.
I actually take a somewhat broader view of that from a university perspective, and I think our job as colleges and universities is to provide students with a foundational knowledge, but also ensure that they learn to think creatively and independently, and that enables them to lead courageous and engaged lives, not just in the workforce, but in our society and in our community. So yes, job preparation is part of what we do, but we like to believe that we do more than that in preparing students to think creatively.
Okay, business and industry. What do you think is the goal of school?
I'll chime in. I think, yes, the educational side of things is terribly important. In my mind, I default to the difference between training and education. So when you talk about school, I'm thinking of education. Raising up a workforce that is ready to solve ill-defined problems and think creatively, as opposed to training, which gets to very specific skills to do very, very specific jobs.
So I'd elaborate on that. The general skills, the industry needs the students to come out with general knowledge and general skills. There'll be another layer where you have to be very specifically trained, whether it's a computer programmer or a chemist or an engineer or some software designer, whatever. Going down that path of being able to be creative, because what you're going to find, I think, in the future more so than ever, is industry is going to be fluid. It's going to be changing very rapidly, and the workforce has to be fluid and be able to be creative. There's kind of two parts. When we look at our employees now, we basically say you kind of have two jobs. Do your job and then figure out how to do it better. That's the second part of your job. Constantly being innovative and creative.
Okay, so the next question, can these goals be accomplished and how? So I want to pick up where Bert just mentioned with what you were saying. Can these goals be accomplished and how?
Yes, all goals can be accomplished if we all get together and put the right resources, and I think these are the kind of things that are the how. Linking the needs of industry when we talk about the specifics, the general educations, that's going on. I think it can get stronger, obviously. The link to the specifics, our company, for instance, is tied in with DATC to make sure we get composite technicians that are very specifically trained. We talked about other specific specific type training in controls and logics and machine programming. And then I think this whole concept of creativity and bringing back that desire to be creative and innovative and nurturing that and incubating that from a very young age all the way, keeping it. Don't drive it out is a key part of that equation.
All right, from the education side, how do you feel about the goal of school? And I know you're working towards achieving those goals, but how else can you furthermore achieve those goals?
Well, as I think about the many years that I've been involved with education and also with training and working in different aspects of applied technology, career and technical education, it's something that we have to continue to do, and it will continue to go on if we're going to continue to meet the goal. Because let's face it, we have new students coming to us all of the time. We have new industries springing up all of the time. We have new skills happening that we need to help people to understand how to do what it is that ATK does or that Boeing needs to have done. And so it'll be something that we'll constantly have to be working on to stay up. Now, that being said, it's important, I think, that we have our students always with a plan that helps them to get from where they are when they start the school system to where it is that they'll be when they emerge and go into the workforce. And then we also have to remember that the workforce is going to change, and so just getting a job and just landing your first opportunity to go to work, maybe it's a great job and maybe it's a great wage, but you need to know it's going to change. And so ongoing training, ongoing education is just a way of life that we're going to have to continue to provide, and as employees, we're going to have to continue to know that we'll have to go back and receive a little bit more to stay on the cutting edge.
Maybe I could give you a specific example. You say, how can we make this of a real positive thing that happened in Davis School District? Probably unbeknownst to industry, when you have a license, you can teach a variety or a very limited amount of things. So our ag teacher is allowed to teach welding. This young woman has never welded a day in her life, but she was licensed and able to do this. I made a visit out to Holly Frontier Oil Refinery, so I say it out loud so I give credit to the industry who made this happen, and we began to discuss some facility issues that we had. We needed new stations, our bent hoods weren't right, funding is a little bit tight. I'm not here to make a complaint, but the reality is, who doesn't struggle with funding issues? So I was chatting with Lynn when I was out there and said, we need this and we could use some help with this, and he sat back and he said, well, I have all the scrap metal that you could use. Why don't I send some gentlemen up to work with your maintenance department to build those for you? I said, seriously? He says, done. Consider it done. Then he said, concerning your educator who has not had a lot of welding background, what if I gave, and we had one of the gentlemen in with this, what if I gave you him for 2 hours a week, and he will come up and mentor that teacher this next year? And he said, I'll mentor the kids while I'm there at that. So that was an industry education trade. I will never say that didn't cost Holly any money. I am not naive to say that. But we aren't always in education looking for a check to be handed or for ourselves to fix it on our own. It was an incredible, when you say, so can these goals be met? Absolutely, in dialogues that happen such as this. I am lacking these things in public ed. One of the things that I think is important to talk about with meeting these goals is educators are in public ed, so I won't speak to the other. We are practitioners of education, of being able to be teachers. So I graduated from this incredible institution a long time ago, and it's been a long time since I've been in the field. And so, but I am very current in my professional development on teaching children. But I'm not always current on the most efficient field practices that are going on. So if I were to say one thing that could really help us meet these goals is our field practitioners working hand in hand and in collaboration in those high need areas, maybe that's where we start. with our teachers that are doing that, because you know what you're doing. We know how, or hopefully know how, to reach and transfer the information. And collectively, we create a workforce and some interest. So yes, I do think we can, but I don't think education public can do it by itself, and I don't necessarily think just telling us what to do will do it either. But when Lynch stepped up, I have to tell you, he was a prime example of a partner in education and real interest. So, what are my thoughts?
One of the challenges that we have in meeting the goal is that